there's some positive vibes surrounding D'Angelo Russell at Mavericks training camp out in Vancouver. They had practice 1 yesterday. Practice 2 is today before they gear up for the preseason opener against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Monday in Fort Worth. And I'm very excited to see what D'Angelo Russell is going to bring to the Mavericks as a starting point guard for at least the first half of this season for the Dallas Mavericks. It's going to be a big factor in whether or not the Mavericks can return to the NBA postseason. We'll get into D'Angelo Russell and all of that here in just a moment, but please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Here's everything we bring to you at Mavericks Today. Year-round Mavs coverage, news, rumors, analysis, trade rumors, free agency, and draft coverage. Live watch parties will for sure be going live for the season opener against the San Antonio Spurs. Join the over 32,000 subscribers that have already joined the channel today at youtube.com/MavsTV. We are your one-stop shop for all things Mavs here on YouTube. D'Angelo Russell last season had, I would say, a down year for him. He played in 29 games with the Lakers and the Nets before, he was traded at the trade deadline, obviously. And the numbers just really weren't that great. 12.5 points a game with the Lakers, 13 with the Nets. Did not shoot it well from three at all, just 33.3% with the Lakers and dipped to under 30 in his 29 games with the Nets. And that field goal percentage is a hideous 36.7. And at the end of the day, I just think it was a down year for D'Angelo. He just wasn't good. He did not have a good season, and I don't know what was going on behind the scenes and what was going on in his life and what was going on the court with D'Angelo, because to be frank, I really didn't watch a lot of Brooklyn Nets basketball, especially in the second half of the season, but he really just wasn't very good, and there's a reason the Mavericks got him on the taxpayer mid-level exception, because he wasn't very good. But he has shown signs of being a very good, efficient player in this league. Like, if you look at what he did with the Lakers from February of 23 when he was traded there to April of 2024, he was pretty damn good. Averaged 17.7 points, over 6 assists a night, and shot 41.5% from three. And this is the guy that I'm looking for Jason Kidd to go find this season. They need that guy to come out here and be the starting point guard for the Mavs. They need him to run the team. They need him to be able to score efficiently. This is the guy, the veteran that they're looking for to try to tread water until Kyrie Irving returns. And D'Angelo Russell kind of talked about that as well, where he said, I'm not really here to just be the guy to fill Kyrie Irving's shoes. Like, I want to be more than that. Here's his exact quote where he said, obviously with Kai out, there's minutes available, but I'm not looking at it like that, just holding down the fort. I want to establish myself here, be consistent, and help us win games. And when Kai comes back, I'll adjust. But my mindset is to make an impact from day one. So he's not looking at himself as just a stopgap for Kyrie to return. He's actually looking at himself as someone that can be a legit starting PG for this team and to go alongside the likes of Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, Derek Lively, whoever Jason Kidd ends up deciding on to be in his starting lineup. He knows that D'Angelo Russell is going to be that one, even though he hasn't officially decided on D'Lo as the opening night starting PG. It's obviously going to be him. Like, I don't think they're going to start Dante Exum or Brandon Williams at point guard. So we'll see how D'Angelo just acclimates to the Mavericks and acclimates just to Dallas as a whole, But I do think that he has a chance to have a really good year, and it would behoove both of the Mavericks and D'Angelo if he was to have a bounce-back season so he could go get himself paid in free agency next summer. I want you guys to play Prize Picks with me, though. We'll play a little more or less. 15.5 points per game for D'Angelo Russell this season. If you think it's going to be more, type M. If you think it's going to be L, type less. I happen to think it's going to be more. I could see him averaging right around 16 points a night for the Mavericks this season. So I'm going to go with the more, but let me know down in the comments what you guys think. And I will be fascinated to see when Kyrie does come back, how they manage D'Angelo's minutes. Like, are they going to play Kyrie and Russell together at some points? I have a hard time believing that just because on the defensive end, that would just not be a good defensive backcourt whatsoever. And the way this Mavericks team is going to win games is on defense. So I do think that you would see D'Angelo come off the bench as the sixth man, and he would be captaining and running that second unit, which, man, if you look at this second unit and what it could be when Kyrie returns, you have D'Angelo Russell, Klay Thompson, Max Christie, Najee, and Daniel Gafford as your second unit. There is no doubt in my mind that this would be the best second unit in the NBA. And that's where the Mavericks are really trying to make their hay, is with their depth and with their defense. So when they're at full strength, like, yeah, this team really is deep and has a lot of guys they can throw out there and they can trust that have NBA experience and have the ability to make an impact on the court for them. I think this would be a great second unit for the Mavs if they were to end up running it. But also, I want to see D'Angelo excel as the starting point guard for the Mavs in the first half of the season. Klay Thompson kind of mentioned it at Media Day, but the way the Mavericks are going to win, especially offensively, is they're really going to have to just cut off the ball a lot. They're going to have a lot of off-ball movement. They're going to have a lot of actions. They're probably going to end up running more plays, more sets than most NBA teams do, just given the roster construction that this team has right now. I think they need a little more structure in order to be effective on the offensive end because they really don't have the abundance of shot creators. They're going to run the offense through the bigs and off-ball movement, and D'Angelo Russell hopefully will just be able to just drive the bus, be the guy that, gets them into their offense, be the guy that finds the open man and does the simple things right. I'm excited for D'Angelo Russell, but you know what else I'm excited for? Prize Picks, where it is good to be right, and being right on Prize Picks can get you paid. Football season is in full swing. Basketball season is just around the corner. So get started with Prize Picks today. We absolutely love Prize Picks here at Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. And the one new feature I absolutely love on Prize Picks is they're the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want to pick more on D'Angelo Russell's points, rebounds, and assists, you can do that now in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. You can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click, whether it's a friend, celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. And of course, you can play Prize Picks in states like Texas, like Georgia, Florida, and California as well. I have a Prize Picks for week 5 of the football season coming up. Give me the more on Chuba Hubbard, 54.5 rush yards for the Carolina Panthers. I'm also going to take the more on Jalen Waddle to get into the end zone as the new wide receiver 1 after that gruesome Tyreek Hill injury. And I'll take the more on Cam Scatterbo rushing yards at 64.5. So you can copy my picks or make picks of your own. Just do it with our friends over at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, that is code CLNS to get $50 bonus when you play your first $5 in lineups. Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. I think the Mavericks' goal for the first half of the year is basically just go 500 until Kyrie returns. Like, would you like it to be more? Obviously, but I think that is your goal. If you're sitting at your 50, let's say that they're 50 games in just for the math there. If you're 27 and 25 or whatever the math is, 27 and 23 when Kyrie comes back and you're able to take off there, that would be pretty big. So I think that's all you're asking D'Angelo Russell to do. And he can say that he wants to do more than just tread water and be a stopgap. But at the end of the day, that's really all you need from him. And that's hopefully what he can provide you. But if he does end up playing better and does end up kind of, I would say, outplaying his expectations for the Mavericks this season, you could see him get paid in the summer of 2026 because he does have a player option for the second year on that contract. Again, the Mavericks used the taxpayer mid-level exception, which means he's getting paid $5.7 million this season and has a player option for $5.9 million in the following season. Hopefully, and this is the best outcome for both the Mavericks and D'Angelo Russell. He plays well, the Mavericks make a playoff run, he opts out of his contract, and gets paid. I think the Mavericks would absolutely love that outcome if D'Angelo Russell played well for them and if he opted out and left in free agency and he got, $13, $14, $15 million a year on his next deal. That would be great, and hopefully he can do that for the Dallas Mavericks. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Another reminder, come along on the ride, the 25-26 NBA season. October 23rd, the Mavericks kick off. I cannot wait. Mavericks versus Spurs, like the third straight year we're playing the Spurs, but it's going to be very, very exciting. We're going to be covering the Mavericks all throughout the 25-26 season. You know where to be right here at youtube.com/MavsTV. Oh boy. I'm going to present these without comment. This was a picture from the Mavericks' first training camp over in Vancouver. If you haven't been on Twitter lately, you probably haven't seen these. If you have been on Twitter, you probably have seen these pictures. Anthony Davis looking a little different, and I'm not talking about the goggles. Is it just Dallas that makes this happen? Are we cursed? I hope Nico Harrison has seen these pictures and is just absolutely beside himself right now on what he is seeing. And yes, I'm aware Anthony Davis had surgery, wasn't really able to work out in the summer. It's just ironic is all I'm saying. And I get it. I'm clearly not the most in shape person either. But do I expect the franchise player, the highest paid player on the team, to come into training camp in a little more shape when that's what we practiced and preached every day since February 1st? We practiced and preached we want our guys in championship shape. Where is it? If AD comes into this season out of shape and just exhausts himself and gets hurt because of this, I will have a generational crash out here on the show. Just so you know. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable. But it's day one of training camp. Let's see what he looks like later today in day two and as the season gets closer and closer. But when I saw these, all I could do is just laugh because I just like, oh my God, you have to be kidding me that we're doing this again. Here he is with Dennis Smith Jr. And if you wanted another angle, it's just like unbelievable is all I can say. Unbelievable. As we know, training camp already did start. It started yesterday on September 30th, and the Mavs are up in Vancouver for the week before they come home to Fort Worth. First NBA game ever at Dickies Arena on October 6th against the defending champ Oklahoma City Thunder, who were playing a back-to-back. That's the second night of a preseason back-to-back for OKC, so don't expect to see anybody play in that game. And the season opener on the 22nd against the San Antonio Spurs, who are probably going to be without De'Aaron Fox, by the way, as he's nursing an injury, and he said his status is in doubt for opening night. So maybe the Mavs catching a break there, but it seems like whenever a player is out against the Mavericks, that team always just finds a way to win. So hopefully we can get something different there in the outcome of the season opener. That will do it for today's show, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in to Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. And, of course, if anything happens at Mavericks Training Camp, we will have you covered right here on the channel. But you'll find out on Twitter before you find it on the channel. So give me a follow at Jeff_Coop27.